Oh, you there? Hey there guys, welcome to the second official devlog for Mirrorforge. I'm Bobby, Mystive Dev. I'm the sole developer of Mirrorforge, and this last week has been amazing. So as usual, as you know, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. However, we did also polishing, we did optimization, there was a lot of QA testing done by the team from DreadXP. As you know, DreadXP is the publisher for Mirrorforge, so I will really appreciate it if you go to their social channels, follow them, click the subscribe button on YouTube and ring the notification bell. Why? Well, if you love Mirrorforge, there will be a new, even better devlogs about the development of Mirrorforge. Alright, now that this is out of the way, we're gonna talk about what really happened last week. So during this last week I had several calls with the amazing talented concept artists from DreadXP Cleveland, and we had several discussions about a new, different level section which will provide some fresh approach to Mirrorforge, and this new level section is awesome. We did some sketches, we did a lot of brainstorming, and trust me guys, it's unlike anything you've seen before in Mirrorforge. So it will be a combination between puzzle and stealth mechanics, and with this section there will be a new monster. So this new monster is whoa, it's creepy and terrifying, and it's the product of Cleveland. So this new monster is one of those creatures that can kill you at first sight, so be very careful when you're trespassing that zone. However, this devlog is not about the stealth section. It will probably the next devlog will be for that part. In this devlog I will talk about some things that some of the players that already played the game or seen it like on some of the portals will find it confusing. We're gonna talk about the inspiration behind Mirrorforge, and I will tell you why I managed to trick you all, guys. And not trick you so much in a way, but like tricking you completely, but regarding the Silent Hill and Stranger Things inspired parts, we're gonna delve a little bit deeper into that, and also we're gonna explore the other inspirations that you can see in Mirrorforge. Alright, let's start with the obvious one. We have Silent Hill inspired game. So what do I mean by Silent Hill? Obviously, I'm a huge Silent Hill fan. I love stories, I love interesting stories and character arcs, I love literature, and I found Silent Hill 2 to be one of the best games out there, like best horror games. However, when I say that Mirrorforge is Silent Hill inspired, what I mean by that is some parts of the aesthetic, the environment in Mirrorforge is Silent Hill inspired, as well as the enemies, which are like manifestations and represent the character's inner turmoil. But that's basically it about Silent Hill. The story in Mirrorforge, the full story in the game, is something totally different. It's not even closely related to Silent Hill. And then we have the Stranger Things part. Regarding the Stranger Things part, I might say we have sci-fi elements and sci-fi environments in a way, like the hangar that you see in the demo. Then we have parallel universes, and we have a creature, a being all-powerful and omnipresent. So if you remember, if you've inspected the paper, in the second part of the demo there is a story like speaking about something that came out from the outside the multiverse and devoured everything and so on. So that's the Silent Hill and Stranger Things parts. Third inspiration is Jacob's Ladder, the movie. As some of you might know, Jacob's Ladder was a huge inspiration also for Team Silent to develop Silent Hill. And I can clearly see what inspired me for Mirrorforge. That would be the shaking head monsters in the game and some parts of the environment that are diving into the uncanny valley. So those are the inspirations from Jacob's Ladder. Then we have one of my biggest inspirations. I don't know if you've seen my previous devlogs, but Mirrorforge, before it was Mirrorforge, it started as a Lovecraftian project. I'm a huge fan of Lovecraft and his works. So there's a lot of Lovecraftian elements even in Mirrorforge. Some of those include like fear of the unknown, being so incomprehensible, alien, and all-powerful. So yeah, that's the Lovecraftian parts. For example, the being that's that's twisting all these realities, reading people's minds, manifesting these monsters is completely unfamiliar. It's all powerful. It's alien. It's outside it's outside the multiverse basically. So in a way, that's something that we cannot understand, and that's the Lovecraftian part. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a very awesome podcast that you can find on YouTube. It's a horror podcast and it's called the Magnus Archives. And back in the day, I've spent a lot of time listening to these stories, and the Magnus Archives is an amazing inspiration from Mirrorforge. So the Magnus Archives, especially there was a story called The New Door, inspired me to create like changing environments all around you. You see one thing and the next moment there's a completely different environment at the same place. So if you are a lover of horror literature and horror podcasts, check on YouTube the Magnus Archives. Those are one of the best pieces that I've heard so far. Another obvious inspiration is Ringu, or the movie The Ring. Obviously, if you've played the demo, you know which part is The Ring inspired. There was this mirror in the demo which shows you some creepy, eerie things. I call this the spoiler mirror because I think it wasn't told in the demo, but never mind, it's not a big spoiler, but I will reveal it anyway. So this mirror basically works like the mirror of Galadriel in Lord of the Rings. It shows the past, the present, and the possible future. So what you've seen in the mirror is not just like some random visuals, it's basically part of the entire storyline. And again, we have one of the most popular movies, which was inspiration for me, and the book, of course, The Exorcist. We have a lot of things like we have crawling creatures on the walls, we have whispering voices, we have I'm not gonna spoil it. We have people and creatures which are possessed in a way. Then you will notice that in the full game there are a lot of elements which are quite similar, like Outlast and Outlast 2. There are chase sequences where the character runs like hell and you're running away, jumping across obstacles, trying to open doors as soon as possible before the entity gets you. So there are a lot of chase sequences, as I mentioned, and fast action-paced scenes. What you might find surprising, but I would really like to tell you guys, is that I was also inspired by Stargate SG-1 and Event Horizon. Those are, the one is a TV show, there's also a movie Stargate, and then we have the Event Horizon, which is a horror movie set in space. And inspiration came to me like when I was thinking, how should I do this traveling between dimensions using mirrors and so on? What effect should I create? How will it look like, and so on? And the first thing that popped up in my mind was that effect when people go through the Stargate, like that tunneling, that wormhole effect. However, while I was thinking about it, I thought that if I add something similar in the game, it might be too sci-fi, and Mirrorforge, after all, is a horror game. So that's when like some of the aesthetics and the art from Event Horizon came up in my mind. So I decided to have the same effect, like traveling through a wormhole, but made entirely of meat with a light in the distance. So that's how I came up with the effect when you use that magic mirror to travel between dimensions and realities. On the contrary to popular belief, and from what I've seen, like I've watched several streamers who played the demo from Mirrorforge. There were some of those streamers who said like, why did the developer leave the model of this woman inside the wall, inside the concrete? Why is it clipping? Did he forget about it, or is it purposely done? So I will tell you that story in a bit. So as you know, on the walls, even in the demo, if you can see some of the walls, there are like these black cracks which are like mirrors. If you go left and right with the character, you will notice that like inside the cracks something's moving, and these are basically like cracks, rifts in time and space. So when the mirror forge exploded, these cracks occurred, and you will notice a lot of these cracks where that woman you see in the hangar in the demo is. So she's stuck inside the column, like phased into the concrete. And I got this inspiration by reading a particular conspiracy theory about the Philadelphia experiment. So for those of you who do not know, there was some experiment that was done by the US Navy. They were experimenting with, I think it was time travel, or no, sorry, it was invisibility. So like to make the ship completely invisible to the human eye. So they use, I don't know, electromagnetic fields and so on. The ship vanished, and when it reappeared, all of the crew were phased into the walls. I think this is conspiracy theory. I cannot say like it really happened. But this was clearly an inspiration for me, for Mirrorforge, and the Philadelphia experiment, like the effect that it did, is quite similar to the effect that the Mirrorforge does, the Mirrorforge Blast does. And the largest inspiration and the final inspiration for Mirrorforge is ancient Mesopotamian myths. So, as you know, the demo of Mirrorforge is not the main story. It's a backstory just to get you to know the main character, what happened to him, how he's feeling and so on. But the main story of Mirrorforge is completely different and is connected a lot to the ancient Mesopotamian myths, especially the first ever civilization that has ever existed, the Sumerians. So there's the Anunnaki, the ancient gods like found in the ancient Sumerian myths. We have alien conspiracy theories. So yeah, there's a lot of things coming from ancient Mesopotamian mythology. There are some things like that happened like 3500 BC. You will see it in the full game, and all of this is connected in the main story of Mirrorforge. How did I come up with using ancient Mesopotamian myths? So when I started developing Mirrorforge, I had this idea. I want to have a character which is relatable, which is to which something happened like that can happen even in real life, like a car crash, and I don't know, losing the love of his life, losing a baby and so on, something that's relatable. But at the same time, I'm a huge fan of epic fantasy stories, and I wanted to have this epic fantasy story like the main plot. So I did some research on Google, and I was checking some myths and legends and so on. Like I checked the ancient Egyptian gods, but they're overused nowadays. I checked the Greek gods, they're also overused. Then we have a lot of horror movies like with biblical references and so on. I wanted something which was not overused and which was also mysterious in a way. So the first sentence I've written on Google was, what are the oldest entities ever and the oldest civilizations? And that's how I came up with the ancient Mesopotamian myths. So I did a lot of research, a lot of investigation on that one. I even learned a bit of cuneiform, which I used for the full game. So yeah, the ancient Mesopotamian myths are the primary element in the story of Mirrorforge. Okay, so guys, I hope you loved this devlog. I hope you understood the inspiration and how I started designing Mirrorforge. And in the next devlog of Mirrorforge, we're gonna discuss the stealth level that I mentioned and the new monster. So thank you for watching it, and make sure to follow me on all social channels. Click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell on the DreadXP YouTube channel. See ya.